Hey guys, top 5 best ARs to run with an SMG. So on number 5 we have the Tempest Razorback, as you can see right here. Now I'm using a 60 round mag, so basically the builds are pretty much all gonna be the same. I'm running a 60 round mag, lock grip position 40 underbarrel, Komodo heavy muzzle, Tanker V barrel, and Slimline Pro optic. Now you're probably wondering why I'm using these two attachments, and I will explain to you a little bit later, but I can first of all say this Komodo heavy muzzle, I'm using this because of recoil control, right? Obviously. Now, why am I not running a suppressor? I like to use stealth vests a lot, and the reason why I don't use a suppressor is because if I have a suppressor on my gun, I will show up on a normal UAV. Sorry, no, I will. If I shoot my gun while having a suppressor on in a normal UAV, I will not show up while wearing a stealth vest. I will show up if that does happen, if I shoot the gun in a UAV tower or in an advanced UAV, right? So that's why I'm using the muzzle for recoil control, because I'd rather be able to hit my shots than being off the radar for a couple of seconds. Yeah, that's basically it. The only difference is I show up on a normal UAV with this Komodo heavy muzzle. That's it. I just don't think it's worth using a suppressor. Oh, but you get bullet velocity and you get extra damage range. Well, damage range is 14.4% extra, so that's like 5-6 meters. And bullet velocity is like 30%. I see why you would use it because of bullet velocity, but you don't need bullet velocity if you can lean your shots. And you shouldn't be engaging anyone. You shouldn't be engaging enemies beyond 50 meters, in theory, right? Sometimes you have to, sometimes you can get away with it. So if you're not making a super long range build, which you shouldn't be making for ARs, you should be making that for LMGs. Don't use a suppressor. Just use this one right here. Now, you see how many muzzles there are? Why am I using this one? I'll show you later. Same goes for the underbarrel. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, by the way, all tuning will be in the description below. Now, let's move on to number 4, M13. Same setup. Not much to say. Pause the video if you want. Not much to say. Now, the reason why I have a 60 round mag on these guns is because of the high fire rate. So if you do miss bullets, which you probably will, you need that 60 round mag. These two guns could easily switch positions. The FR Avancer, the new gun, could also be in here in this ranking, and those three guns, the FR Avancer, Tempest Razorback, and M13, are all pretty much the same. I would use the FR Avancer over the M13, and I would use the M13 over the Razorback. Now, number 3, 2, and 1 are the best 3 guns to use in the game. They're pretty comparable, all of them. And they could also easily take each other's spots, but these are just my personal preference in terms of 3, 2, and 1. But these 3 guns are so they're just way better than 5 and 4, right? Even the FR Avancer, I'm excluding it because I don't have the attachment stats for the gun. I only have the TTK values. Now, number 3, STB. High fire rate gun as well, not as high as M13 and Razorback and FR Avancer, but it only has a 42 round mag, so if you're an above average player, use this. If you're average, I don't know if you can use it. If you're below average, you can't. Well, I won't say you can't, but I don't think you should be using this one. Use the gun I have on my number 2 list, which is the Caster 545. Anyways, let's proceed. As I said, Caster 545. If you're on a below average or above average, use this gun right here. 45 round mag. Why am I not using 60? 60 makes it too slow, but I can get away with a 45 round mag because it's a slow fire rate gun. Same attachments as the other all the other guns. Not much to say. Number 1, Caster 762. This gun is just superior, has the best TTK, and it's just better than all LMGs, to be honest, because it has very good reload time. Okay ADS and okay spin to fire. Better than LMGs anyway. Now the only difference here is the muzzle. It's the TY LR8. It does the same job as the Komodo Heavy. The only difference is looks and name. So yeah, that's basically it. Now I'm gonna show you a website here. There we go, truegamedata.com. Now the reason why I'm using the slimline, I'm just gonna show you real quick. I was using the AimUp V4, but I found out the AimUp V4 gives you a plus 20 millisecond additional ADS time, whereas the Slimline Pro only gives you 10. And I wouldn't recommend anyone using an optic beyond the X10 Angel 40. The recoil is just gonna be too uncontrollable for ARs. All right, let's move on to the website again. Now, why am I using Komodo Heavy and lock grip position 40 on the barrel? Komodo Heavy, minus 7% vertical recoil, which is the recoil we can control. We cannot control horizontal. That's why this one has minus 27% horizontal recoil control. Now it gives you plus 5% weapon sway, but it doesn't matter. And it only gives you plus 40 milliseconds ADS time. If we were to use a suppressor like the Harbinger, it's a plus 108. If you should use any suppressor, if you would want to for some reason, use the Ecoless 80. You don't get the recoil and horizontal recoil control, but this ADS time is just way too much. You're not going to be competitive at all. But you shouldn't use suppressors. You should use the Komodo Heavy, because again, you can control vertical recoil, but you can't control the horizontal. That's why. Now, on the barrel, the lock grip position 40. Why? Well, because it has the best stats and the least cons. 30 milliseconds ADS time, but minus 9% vertical and horizontal recoil control. Well, you see the Merc foregrip. It's basically the same, but the Merc foregrip has more cons, so there's no point in using it, right? Now, I know some people like F-Tech Ripper 56, but it's gonna hurt all of your movement stats, basically. It does give you minus 40.5 background sway and weapon sway, so if you have problems looking past the visual recoil, so not the actual recoil but the visual, you could go for this one, but I wouldn't recommend it, because you need to learn how to be able to look past the visual recoil. You need to learn how to do it, and if you can't do it, again, you just gotta learn it. That's it. If you want to become a better player, you have to learn it. So I would just start using the lock grip position 40 regardless. Now let's go down to TTK. FR Avancer, I'm just going to talk about it anyway. Very comparable to M13 and Tempest Razorbacks in terms of TTK. Same goes for 545, 762 and 556. Very comparable TTKs. Now, the values here are going to be for chest only, because you should be aiming for the chest every time you shoot a guy, unless you can only see their head, of course, and unless you're using a sniper rifle. But you can see here, there's a combination value where it takes all these values and apply them as one overall TTK. I just think it's a bullshit method of doing it, and I think it's a cheap way and a clever way to get money for this website. I don't know if sim.gg does it for free. Now, the thing about that, the combination is it says, well, if you hit the upper arm, so let's say that the TTK for the cast of 762 is 700. But if you do combination, it might be 750. Let's just say that, right? Because what combination does, it says, well, if you hit the upper arm once, you're gonna get a slower ADS, slower time to kill. So I just think that's bullshit. Now, I think you should rely on chest only as TTK. You shouldn't go stomach, upper arm, lower leg. I just think you should rely on chest, right? Now, I'm not really gonna talk about the damage drop-off ranges. You can see it here for yourself, and you can make your own opinion on which gun you want to use, but I highly recommend you use only these three guns. Now you see the cast of 545, right? Just to touch on that a bit. It has pretty bad TTK, right? Once we get to 26 meters, and even the FR Avancer at 45 meters, the FR Avancer is just terrible. You shouldn't be using it at all after 45 meters, which is why FR Avancer is a super good sniper support. Now, cast of 545, you're probably going to think, oh, I'm not going to use this gun because it's TTK here, but I'm going to show you a video on why you should be using this gun. But before that, I'm going to show you the stats. As I said, high fire rate guns, these three. STB as well, high fire rate gun. 762, 545, slow fire rate. 7.62 only had a 40 round mag, and the 5.45 just used a 45 round mag. Reload time, STB has the slowest reload time. That's why it's more of a high skill gun. Low mag size and slow reload time. Custom 5.45, really good, crazy reload time. 7.62 also really good reload time. And then you see the Razorback has the slowest one, but it's just a millisecond, 10 milliseconds behind the M13. ADS time. STB again, slowest ADS time. Why am I putting STB on this list? Well, you'll see as we move on. Hip fire area doesn't really matter. Bullet velocity. STB, really good bullet velocity. You don't need a suppressor with this gun, with the attachments I gave you. M13. Now, here's where you could say, oh, the M13 needs a suppressor. Well, if you can't lean your shots, yes. But if you can't lean your shots, you're at a range where you won't be able to hit your target with the suppressor because it doesn't give you enough recoil control. Let's move on. Movement speed. FR advantage is superior. Again, it's just the best sniper support out there right now. The only reason why I put it in here on this chart is because it's comparable again to the Razorback and the M13 in terms of TTKs. Sprint to fire, STB, completely insane. Razorback also really good. Tactical sprint to fire, it's gonna be around the same stuff, just at a time, of course, because it's tactical sprint to fire. ADS movement speed. So this is why the Tempest Razorback is on the 5th place and the M13 is a 4th. It's because when I shoot people, I'm moving from side to side most of the time, and the Tempest Razorback is just, you're an easy target, to be honest, when you're using the Razorback. That's why I like the M13 more. The M13. I keep saying the, but it's the. I'm sorry, guys. Sprint speed. All these guns are pretty comparable. Again, Avancer superior. Now, is the Avancer meta? No. Why? Well, the TTK is not anywhere close to the other guns, and you see the cast of 7.62 is just better everywhere except what, 0.70 meters. That's it. But come on, we're not looking at this right here. So that's why. And after 45 meters, again, the Avancer just gets too slow TTK, and it's gonna be too uncontrollable after this range. Whereas the cast-off can get away with it because of its recoil control, and I'm gonna show you that video. Again, just pause the video, look at the stats if you want. Again, tuning in the description down below. Now, where is it? It's here. No, this is not the one. I was doing some testing, guys, sorry. Just a minute, I think is it this one? Yes, this one. No, it's actually not this one, so it's this one.
What?
Yep, it's this one. We pop a UAV, we see there's a platoon in my bodies.
Fucking guy, one more being shot by bots.
2 at the buy station, there's...
I'm not gonna shoot at him, he's 39 meters away. You see how far away that is? It's pretty far, right? Again, ARs, look at 50 meters, but look at that recoil control right there. That's insane, man. This is why I can get away with the slow TTK that it actually has. This is the reason.
Yeah.
Now this guy had no place. Again, that guy was fucking oblivious. And I think the video audio is behind. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. Now with platoons, you gotta be aware of where you actually finish the players, because they're gonna try to revive each other all the time. This guy shooting at me, I couldn't really see him. I move away. I'm trying to get away. I thought he was gonna push me, but the guy was just a terrible player, so he didn't push me.
Left, there, straight up,
Oh yeah, I see him.
he's in my bag.
Oh, to my right.
So the only good guy was the guy right there.
Can't finish me though. Two of them there.
1 left on me.
That guy was just terrible. I couldn't finish him. I got shot in the back. I wanted to finish him, rush up to him and finish him with the SMG. The SMG.
Hold on, there's one here. Yeah. Bam. Got this guy here. Shoot me.
Now the reason why I don't really pay much attention to... I pay attention to what they say, but I don't really pay attention like... They're saying on me and stuff like that, but I don't care because if I go down, we've lost the gunfight. They're helping, of course, but they're below average players, so if I go down, we're dead. It's impossible for them to kill a 6-man team on their own. It's just impossible.
On him, and then you're in a bag looting.
I've never seen them done that
stop fucking looting.
in a game when I've played with them. Check out the 6-man. I've never heard them even talk about it, so... That's it, guys. Now, I think there was one last thing I wanted to touch on. Yeah, right, so you see 26 meters, right, is where the first drop off is for the cast off. And the reason why this gun is also really good is because of the TTK up until 26 meters. Now, you are more prepared for a gunfight at longer ranges than you are at closer ranges, right? If you're running around near buildings and you've forgotten to switch to your SMG, or you get caught by some guy up really close, maybe like 10 meters, there's a higher chance of you winning that gunfight because your TTK is better than the other guy's TTK, even considering ADS time and stuff like that, right? Now, if you get caught at, let's say, like 40 meters, it's gonna be easier to you to get to cover or just reposition or just directly fire back at the guy than it is at closer ranges, right? Do you understand my point here? That was just the last point I wanted to make. And again, thank you guys for watching. I'll maybe see you in the next video if I ever do a next video.